Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to True Crime and Justice. Sometimes the mysterious. Right. Let's have a look. Hi, Nero. Alright, so tonight, I'll talk about that in a minute. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. I know I did. Had a really nice weekend. It was so darn quiet. Honest, it was really, really quiet. And my house was spotless, pristine. Because before my housemate came back Saturday to empty the rest, like she come over Saturday and she went, "Well, just take these few bags and we'll leave the rest till tomorrow." I went, "Why?" She said, "Well, I've got work later." I said, "Yeah, but that's not till 6 o'clock. It's not even dinner time yet, lunchtime." So with that, Tracy, her daughter, my daughter-in-law, come over the kitchen. She's taking bags back and whatever. Not Angie. No, not Angie. And then Tracy went, "I'll be back later to clean the room up." I went, "No, you won't." She said, "I know you won't." I said, "Your mum will. She's the one who stayed in there for 9 months. She's the one who left it in that state. So your mum said she was coming back to clean it, so your mum can feckin' come back and clean it." So they came back and they went in with the vacuum, and I saw Angie, because my window frames, honest, I showed my daughter and she went, "Oh my God." Because she'd not had those blinds open for 9 months. Apart from 2 occasions when myself or my son have been in and opened the curtains and opened the blinds. She'd not had the blinds open for 9 months. She'd not opened those windows for 9 months. So you can imagine what the frames on the inside were like. If you can imagine what was going on the skirting boards where her bed had been, because there's no air circulating, you can imagine what the frames were like. So they come in and they cleaned it all. No, they cleaned it. It needs to be done again. Believe me, it does need to be done again. Right? And Mother took it all. And I went in. First thing I did, went in and opened them feckin' windows. Right? And shut the bedroom door so my cats couldn't get out. Get out the house, like. And then, before she came back, I'd been in and cleaned my bathroom from top to bottom because that was disgusting. I gave up cleaning it. I was just cleaning the bath out every time I needed it. And after I used it, I'd clean it out again. And that was it. I wasn't doing the deep clean that I usually do when I have a bath. Because I thought, no, because I'm doing a deep clean on this bath and this bathroom every time I use it. But then Angie will come along, she'll have a bath and she don't always clean the bath. She's not opening the windows. There's condensation building up. There's, you know what, on my windows sill, all around my frame. So I went in there and I got an old toothbrush, one of the kids' old toothbrushes. Got the anti-mold spray, scrubbing right into the fucking corners to get rid of it. Still left a stain there, a mark there, but I'll keep going at it. I'll have another go tomorrow. So yesterday, the day seemed so long as well. I don't know if it's because I'm used to having the grandkids here on the weekend. Because since I've moved in, I've had the grandkids here every weekend. Every Saturday night, I've had the grandkids there. So it just seemed so quiet yesterday, Saturday night and Sunday morning. But I go up Sunday morning, my house is still pristine because, as I said, I always do a reset before I go to bed. Straighten all my cushions up, right? I make sure there's no washing up left. Well, there was not a cup left on the side. Not a fucking spoon. It was spotless. Oh, yes. That's what I love. So I got up and had my coffee and everything. Then I went under my bed, made my bed yesterday. The cat's looking at me saying, "Fuck, Mum, what you up to? You're making the bed really early." Yeah, I'm up. I'm awake. I'm making my bed. I was up quite, well, not too early, but I was up earlier than 10 o'clock, put it that way, because my alarm hadn't gone off. So, and I moved my desk from where it was down by the window again. Because that's where I like it, by my window, so that in the daytime, when I'm doing a bit research, like I was yesterday, today, every so often I can just take a breather and look out the window and see what's going on, and then get back on with it, and you know what I mean? And I love it in this space. And then I've got my sofa and my TV and coffee table and my rug, and my lamp that my daughter brought me and her partner brought me for Christmas. I love that lamp. Anyone breaks that lamp, they better be able to run very quickly or have a fucking good hiding place where I can't find them. Because I will kill them. Right? It's a Highland cow. The lampshade coming from me. And I love it. I seen it in a shop with my daughter and I said, no, I can't have that. I said, you can't have too much Highland cow. She said, Mum, you can't have enough Highland cow. So that way, anyone who comes in now will see that lamp. Where before, when it was up this corner where I am now, no one really saw it. So that's up there. And then, so I've got all my living area. And then past my living area, I've got my dining area because I've got my lovely wooden dining table and chairs. And I just love it. I'm starting to love my home again. I sort of like fell out of love with it. And my daughter said today, I was talking to Ryan last night, that's her partner, and we're going to buy some big tubs of white paint, Mum. I went, yeah. Said, and we're going to come up here one Friday night when Vincent's at his granddad's, and we're going to blitz these walls. I went, I'll buy the paint. She said, no, it's all right. We're going to come up, we're going to blitz these walls. Every wall that needs to be painted, like the living room wall, the kitchen wall, the bathrooms, and the toilet wall. And my bedroom wall. Oh, and the kids' bedrooms. Well, only one wall needs to be blitzed there. Because I'm putting some other stuff up on the other 3 walls. Came back and messaged me up there. God. Internal error. Well, touch wood, I haven't had many problems while using this app. So, I'm loving life at the moment. And the fact that I can talk to my daughter, knowing that whatever we say is not going to be carried over to my son or daughter-in-laws. Because every time I pull Angie up about anything, she'd go and tell my son. Yeah, 11 a.m. Oh, God. I find it hard now to sleep past 10 a.m. Because that's what I've been regulated to, getting up at 10 a.m. But that was when I was going to bed at like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. Now I'm going to bed about, 12 o'clock the very latest. If I'm not in bed by 12, I'll be asleep on the sofa by 10 past. So I might as well go to bed. So I go to bed at 12 and I'm waking up about... Sometimes I can be awake at 4 in the morning, but then I'm going, no, I'm not getting up. It's still fucking dark out there. So I fight it. I fight not having to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning. So I'm normally at the moment I'm getting up around about 9:15, something like that. About 8:30, 9:15, around about that time. So, and then today, oh yeah, my darling grandson, I had falling out with him, big time. Yes, Friday, Angie was moving into a house, right? Saturday, they did a few more runs back and forth. Got everything out of here on the Saturday. On the Sunday, they was round at her mum's. What a surprise. Then today, my son and my daughter's partner were going up to the storage unit, to get the rest of her other furniture. And when I went round, and I said, have you done any unpacking, Anne? She said, yeah. Said, I put all my clothes away. I went, oh, okay, that's good. Said, my bed's all made. I said, have you slept here then? She said, no. I said, well, of course your bed's fucking made then. Right? And when my daughter come, she's got, like, I've got another toilet by my front door. Well, this bungalow, it's got this area for the toilet, but there is no toilet because the woman who lived there before took it out and had her tumble dryer in there, which is fair dues. Right? Anyway, so she went to my daughter. She said, yeah, I'm using that little downstairs area, that little area there where the toilet would have been, to put all my clothes and boxes. I went, hold on. I said, I asked you if you put all your clothes away, and you said, yeah. Said, this is my winter clothes. I said, and you've got two, look, I'm not joking, this wardrobe that was left there is massive. It's like 2 double wardrobes in one. Right? Mirrored as well. Absolutely gorgeous, right? I said, you've got 2 double wardrobes in that bedroom of yours. One half is for like summer clothes, one half is for winter clothes. And if you haven't got enough space for all your winter clothes, then that means you've got to get rid of some. And if you haven't got enough space for all your summer clothes, then that means you've got to get rid of some of that. I said, because you've got 2 double wardrobes in one. For fuck's sake. Anyway, then I come back here because I knew they was going to be bringing something tomorrow. So after they dropped it off, I went back round to the house. And Angie, guess what she's doing? You'd think she'd be packing, unpacking, or moving stuff from the garden into the house. Yeah, you will, wouldn't you? No. She's in the spare bedroom putting up a fucking play tent. Right? This ain't the best of it. This is not the best of it by half. I went, really, Ange? I said, you've got all that stuff out in the garden that needs to be brought in, and you're putting up a fucking play tent. Well, we kept and Alice and Olivia said, we kept pestering her and pestering her. I said, well, she shouldn't give in to you, should she? Because I know I goddamn wouldn't. I'd be telling you, no, once I've brought everything in and once I've unpacked everything, then I'll be setting up your fucking play tent. Right? And he went, well, Granny knows how to put it together. She don't forget anything. I said, a bit like me then, isn't it? You know what my grandson turned around and said? You don't remember nothing. You can't do nothing. I went, oh, so I don't remember nothing and I can't do nothing. Okay, fine, I'm going home. And I literally turned on my heels and walked out that fucking house. Tracy's going, what? I said, going home. And Olivia's chasing up. Gran, don't go. Walked out. You know, I've said it before. When you piss me off, I will either smack you in the face verbally or I'll bang. But it was my grandson. I walked out because I wasn't going to smack him in the face verbally. Right? I was fucking fuming because Angie was sitting on the fucking floor right by Ellis when he said it, and she said, fuck all to him. She didn't correct him. She didn't say, Ellis, that isn't right. You need to apologise to your gran now. Nothing. I can't have a go at Mum because she wasn't even in the room. But Angie was, and she said, and I bet you if I say anything, I didn't hear him say that. You know, you're deaf as fucking mute, aren't you? So I just walked away, and I haven't been back. And I won't go back until I get an apology for what was said. Tracy come round for 5 minutes because she needed to get the internet because she can't get it at Angie's at the moment. Right? Because she needed to place an order for the kids' dinner. I said, oh, okay. They only woke me up from my afternoon nap, but okay. Right, and then she's here about 5 minutes, so, and then left. Bye. No apology on her behalf of Ellis, nothing. I am fucking fuming. If my son comes round or says anything, I'll say, you know what, Simon, I'm not having a go at Ellis because he doesn't understand that what he said was wrong. But no one fucking corrected him. No one, not even Angie, who was right there by him on the floor, putting this stupid play tent up for him when she should have been unpacking and bringing boxes in from outside. I was fucking fuming. Told my daughter, I said, you know what I'm like, Dee? I said, if you speak to me on the phone, you piss me off, what do I do? She said, you hang up. And exactly. I said, what do I do if you piss me off and we're face to face? Said, you'll either have a go at me and stand your ground or you'll walk away. I said, well, I walked away because I wasn't going to give an 8-year-old some verbal abuse for something he doesn't understand he's done wrong because they're not correcting him. So, and I've got a housewarming present for Angie. It's at my son's. I brought a lovely lavender plant and a lovely pot. Both nearly 30 quid's worth of a housewarming present. Not counting the soil that we've used to put in the pot. Right? I was supposed to give it her today. But she hasn't officially moved in because she hasn't stayed tonight. She hasn't actually said, I'll be staying tonight. I'm staying in my own house tonight. You know what, Newman? I don't give a flying feck if her stuff is still outside. Because why should I? Not only that, why should I go round there to help them move the stuff in when she's sitting in that bedroom putting up a proxy fucking play tent? And it says to me earlier, I put all my clothes away. Have you folks? You've got a downstairs toilet, which you haven't got a toilet in at the moment, but you've got a downstairs room for the toilet, which is full of your fucking clothes. As she's wheeling in 2 cases full of clothes. These just come from the wax. I said, no, they didn't. They come from my house, those 2 cases did. Don't fucking lie. But I don't give a flying fuck, Newer. They're not getting my help now because she's not doing anything. Why should I go around and offer her my help? She didn't help moving us out. When her stuff come on the Saturday after I moved in on the Friday, I put all my stuff in the spare room, right? While I back up in Dundee on Saturday, I moved everything out of that spare room. Everything. Put it away where I could. Unpacked it, right? On the Saturday with 2 kids there on my own. Bearing in mind, I'm on my own with 2 kids. And then moved what I needed to go up in the loft, I had in the living room until my son could get over to put it up in the loft for me. And then her stuff come on the Saturday, so I had more boxes in the living room. So I couldn't even unpack all my stuff then, because all her stuff was there. And then Sunday, she comes back with them. Does she have to do it? No. I think she brought 1 or 2 bags in. So I don't give a flying fuck now. Serves her right. She needs to put her priorities right and get her fucking stuff sorted out rather than putting up a proxy fucking play tent. Oh, man, the kids have a playhouse in that garden. They have a playhouse. They can go and play. It was a nice day. They didn't need to be in the bedroom. I'm lifting heavy stuff out the back of this van today. And I took one box and I said, Ange, that's too heavy. Because I know I have trouble carrying heavy stuff with my one arm. I said, it's all right, I've got it. And I struggled in, but I got that box in the garden. I'm putting everything in the garden because I knew there was no space to put it in the fucking living room. Because she hadn't put everything away. At least by the Sunday when her sofa come, my living room was all set up. All of it was set up. Everything was in place. Boom, done. And then you got to go. When I went in the other day, when she got the keys on the Friday, she said, look at my bedrooms, isn't it nice? It's all fully carpeted all the way through. I haven't got a decoration. I love my kitchen because she's got, the woman who lived there had a new kitchen herself put in. And it's about 18 months old, 18 to 2 months old, 2 years old. Right? I love my kitchen. And she's having a dig at us because our kitchens need new kitchen. Our houses need new kitchens. My house does. Simon's house definitely needs a new kitchen. Right? She's having a dig at us all by saying things like that. I thought, yes, you've just stayed at my house for 9 months. 9 months. Not a word of thanks for letting me stay here for 9 months. Not a thank you out there. When that house fell apart down there, I could have let her go and stay with my son. But then they're going to use my spare room to put all her stuff. No. She either goes in that room herself with her bed and sleeps in there. Otherwise, I'm not having her stuff put in there, stored in there for however long. I want that room for the grandkids. So, yeah, today was a bit of a sour ending. And I still haven't gave her a housewarming present. If it wasn't for my son knowing about this housewarming present, I probably wouldn't fucking give it her. I'd keep it myself. But there is a big, tree plant in her front garden, right by her door. So me and Dee are going to go, and I've been given permission. I've been told I can have it because Angie don't want it. She won't look after the garden, right? Simon's taking plants out of that front garden as well because she won't use it. And so I've got to dig this plant out of this wooden box, crate thing they built for it, transport it into a black bag up to mine, so then I can put it in the pot in my garden. But it's massive. Instant colour, instant height, everything. I thought, yep, I'll have it. So, anyway, apart from that, this afternoon, I've had a lovely weekend. I really, really have. I went to sleep this afternoon because I was feeling a bit tired. I think it was emotional stress as well, and I was feeling a bit tired through that. And I went out and lie down in my bed, and my 2 babies come and lay by me. Then when I got up, Bobby got up. Toby didn't. Then I got them the food, so they both ate, and then they both went back to bed. But who is it by me now? Who's this? Is Toby? Yeah, Toby's on the arm of the sofa here by me now. You got up, have you, baby? Yes, it's so quiet now, isn't it? I can lock my door now in the night time. I know that no one's coming. No one's coming in at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever o'clock. If I want to go to bed at 10 o'clock, I can, without the worry of someone coming in at like 10:30, 11:15. Because that's what time she used to get in sometimes, 10:30, sometimes even 11 o'clock and later. I've known her getting at 11:30 one night from work. So, anyway, enough about me. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. Tomorrow, if it's nice, I'm going to go and cut my front lawn again. And try and do some work on the front lawn, which I keep meaning to do. But I need to cut my lawn first. And tidy all that up. Because I can see when my granddaughter hasn't cut the grass, you know what I mean? Little tufts of grass sticking up. Quite funny, actually. And my back garden needs doing again. Actually, yeah, I put a sign with my name and it says, no, I normally have my name up on the screen. And it by underneath it's got, and may the 4th, written the 4th, not the number, may the 4th be with you. Did he? But I thought, I'm pinching that one off you. I'm pinching it off her. Right, I don't know if I've been talking. Well, I've been rattling on, moaning. Nearly half an hour. Right. As I said, tonight we're here to talk about Monica Reza. And what trial did they take? And I went digging for any footage that we haven't seen yet. Like sometimes you get people who go up on hikes up that mountain and they do videos, you know what I mean? So I thought, I want to see what the mountain looks like. I want to get some drone footage of anyone doing any drone footage. So I've got footage of a guy who went up there, right? And he put his drone up, but you could see how steep this mountain is. But he also explains the route they took and everything. And I thought, oh, I've got to play this one tonight. Because I did have another one to play. But I thought, no, I like this one better. This one I have not seen on YouTube anywhere. So unless you follow him, you're not likely to see it. But it came up when I punched in Mount Waterman drone footage, and this video come up. I thought, that's it. I've got to watch. I've got to play that tonight. But then we've got. I also found this app. It's online, and it gives you all the trails for Mount Waterman. Right? Gives you all the trails. Right? So we can zoom in. This here, this white spot here, that's where, like, she went to a friend's house in the morning, early morning, parked her car there, and then they got shared the car, right? And so then they went from there. Yeah, it was I found this app and that video. I thought, yes, because I was sitting there last night. Was it this morning? I can't remember. I thought, there's got to be some trail maps. Because that's what people use when they go on these trails. They use the maps. So I thought there's got to be some trail maps online. So that's what I just punched in this. And when you zoom in, as I said, this here, this white spot, is where they parked the car. Now, as you can see, there's a trail gate. There's a gate just there, and you'll see that gate on that video. Right? And you can even see it when you go on Google Maps. Right? And they go down this way. Right? And now this one is the easy one. This one just takes you along there. right along, around, down to wherever, right? It's a simple one. Well, I wouldn't say it's simple, but it's not as hilly. It's not got the steep inclines in. So they start there, and they come along, and they come along there. They don't take that path. They go down here and follow this path all the way round. And I had a feeling this was the way they went because of where she was last seen. Alright, all the way down and follow them up round. Now, according to the guy who was with her, because there was three of them all together, they all started off from here, and I think it was when they got to about, round about, was it here? Round about here. The lady said, I'm just going to sit here and wait for you to come back. That's too steep for me now. So she said, I'll probably do some yoga, just sit here and do some meditation or whatever. So the lady friend stayed round about here. Monica and her other yoga friend, male yoga friend, carried on up the route. Right, all the way up. Right. It's quite a long walk actually, I think. Right up to there. Right. Now there is this red route. There is a red route. Hold on, I'm going to zoom out so you can see this red route. There's this red route that starts here. But this takes you into what they call, is it Badlands or something like that. A lot of people have gone missing and died in this area, round here. In this area. Right. And there's another route you can take from here and along up to there. But they didn't. They went from there all the way round up to the ridge. Here's the ridge. Right? And then they go off the map a bit. Just go off from the ridge to get to the top of the mountain. Then they take a few photos. Then they come back. They stop again round about here, take another photo or so. Then the guy said when he got to about here, she was something like 30 feet behind him, so not far. Which I don't understand this, because they took photos when they got to the top of the mountain. They took photos when they was about here. And they said they started running where it was flat. I'm sorry, but you don't run when you're hiking. You do not run. You walk. Hiking is strenuous enough. You don't need to overdo yourself and go fucking running, especially on a ridge. Right? So apparently they was running where it was flat. Don't know why. But they said Monica's never done that before, so they couldn't understand why she'd do it now. So he got to here, and he turned round, saw her about 30 feet behind him, not far, signalled her, and told her we're going this way, pointing to the right. So he then continues down a bit. He stops a bit further down here, looks round, and Monica's not behind him. So he then comes back. I think he started shouting round about here for Monica, but nothing. He then comes back. He went so far this way and so far that way. Nothing. So then he comes back, and his friend, the lady who was waiting for him down here, could hear him shouting when he was up here for Monica. Now, from there, you're very close to this highway. You really are. So if anyone was shouting, people on the highway would probably hear because of the echoing of him. No. What is he? I don't think it's called the Badlands. I've got another video who tells you what they call it. Yeah, in the Badlands, those search for Emmanuel. Yeah, I'll tell you where her hat was. Right? Monica was last seen round about here. Because he was on the corner here. And he was saying, we're going this way. So she was only 30 feet behind him, so not that far. Right? So she's seeing him and acknowledged him. He's gone on. But then he's realised she's not behind him, so he's come back. Her hat. Hold on, I'll pull up my maps. Google Earth. Right, because I've got it plotted on there. I don't know how to plot on this map. It isn't California, is it? It's Los Angeles, isn't it? LA. But LA, isn't that California, LA? I'll tell you what's happening now, though. Because I'm having the windows out in the bathroom and in the bedroom. There's a fucking great spot there. I'm not getting that fucker. Right? So the spiders are fucking coming in. And I hate spiders. I let the cats loose in that spare bedroom yesterday, hoping I'd see the spider up on the wall. Come on. For me. Come on, it's not even up. I don't know why it won't open up for me. I'll come back to it in a minute. Right, but alright, I'll show you where she was. I'm trying to move the map and I can't. Hang on. Right. The car park was there. She was last seen around about here. Her hat was found just in this area here, over the ridge, the other side of the ridge. Right? And when I can pull my maps open, I don't know why it won't open up for me. Let's try doing it again. A hat was found round about here. Just round about there, not far. It's on the other side of the, as I said, that dark green line, that's the ridge. So her hat was found just here, where that wilderness word finishes, Just round about there. Come on. Hold on. Let's take this off there. And then let's see if it'll share now. I'm going to have to open it there. Oh, cancel now. Hit the wrong button again. Come on. Okay. I'd say media. Screen. I'm going to shut this one. Stop sharing. Right. Come on. Let's check. Why are you not seeing this? I'll do that now. I lost my Google Maps here. Sorry. It's just about to take you off again. Right, here we've got the entrance. There's Mount Waterman. I don't know why I'm not getting everything on my map. Satellite, put satellite up. Because the satellite gives you a really good feel of what the air's like, how steep it is and everything. Right? Our hat was found there, right about that area. Over here, two people who was coming back from the Twin Peaks, right, a woman's voice like in anguish or something like that, round about here. They was coming back wherever, and they heard a woman's voice, but 2:30 in the afternoon, and that is a hell of a distance from there to there. And to get there, you've got to know where the trails are. Because you go off them trails, you're going to get lost. You're going to get lost. Alright, but she was last seen there. Car park here. And we'll go down to the car park. Because here is where the gate is, entrance to the trails. The fire department entrance. That's where the fire engines go, where there's any fires in there. Right, but you can activate when you zoom in. It is round about there. See it? Now, the one trail you can take is just there. Just there, but trail. we're going that way. But you can see, look, this is where those getting to, up here. Right? And she was last seen somewhere around here. Very deep. Lose foot, you can lose your thing, everything. Right? So let's just check something. Exactly. Wasn't a windy day, no. I need a zap and tennis racket too. I thought that was just for flies. I don't get flies. Hiya. So that's one thing I don't get a lot of. And if I do, my cats are after them like, no. You want to see them? They're like acrobats jumping up in midair and spinning around, trying to catch a fecking fly. And they catch them. But you won't go after the fecking spider in the bathroom or in the bedroom, will you? No. Mummy had to take the one out the bath yesterday so she could have a fecking bath. Them two sit on the side of the bath looking at him. Going, oh, look, spider. Oh, we won't leave. We won't hurt him. It's not paying rent, so you fuck him out. How are you, Anne? Can Google Maps tell you how long it takes to walk from where she was last seen to noise area? Well, I was watching a video the other day, and the person said it's about, I think from where she was last seen to where her hat was found, it was about quarter of a mile, half a mile to a mile away. Now, that won't take her long to walk. I thought, yeah, it fecking would. Have you seen, like, you know what I mean? Have you seen the terrain? It's not, oh, look, just over there, I'm going to walk that mile, I'm going to drop my hat and then come back. No, it's not like that. You can't just walk over there. You're going off the trail. I've shown you the trails, and there's no trail going towards where her hat was found. No trail. So why would she go off trail? She's an experienced hiker. She knows better than to go off trail. People are saying perhaps she just got lost. She knows those mountains. She goes to them every weekend, nearly every weekend. Some part of that mountain she's climbing. She's hiking. I'm good, thank you. Ho. You ho. Get on your line. She's calling us a ho. Oh, God. Messages not coming through. What messages aren't coming through? I've only got 3 words blocked. And none of them have been said in this. But that's where I was going to, up to here. Well, I think it's a bit further over. I think it was more over that way. But there's the ridge. And that's where she was last seen, up on this ridge. And I'd say round about here, she was last seen. Round about here. And that's where you start decline, coming down, rapidly coming down in height then. And this is where it's the steepest down here. coming down these sides here. But from there, I'm going to take you there. Hold on, let me come out there. Right, get off. Right. I went up back there, that way, and then walking up. Yeah, so probably back there. Right, so we're going to go up and have a look. You can see the road. See, it's not an even path, right? You go round, and this is the path they turn this way, not this one. Not this one, and not this one, right? Going straight up this way, turn further on up. So as I said, it's not an easy hike. Anyway, and there's lots of twists and turns. You think, oh, they can go, but then you got boom. You know what I mean? So she's come up this way. Now we're gonna turn the map around. Oh, back. Alright. Now you can see the road from there, right? From here. You can see the car park, you can see the road, right? Even this road here, you can see it all from there. Right, so she was last seen here. So you can see the highway from there. But it's very steep. It's not an easy climb. My friend stayed down at, I think it was 0.2. Was it 0.3? 0.2. She's dropped down at number 2 thing. Because this area here, up here, is like, then you go along the ridge, and 0.4 is, I have to pull out a bit so I can be quicker. Right, you got mountain there, that's number 5. So 0.4 is around about this area. And that's the route she took. When she come up from the car park, going all the way around. And her hat was found in this area around here. A mile walk, but it's going that way. There's a trail going that way, but there's no trails going here, down to here. And what I don't understand is, even if it was flat, even if some areas are flat and level, they're not as though hikers. Why would they run? And even her other friends who've been hiking with her said she never runs. She's 60 years old. She's healthy and she's fit and she goes hiking, yes. But she's not stupid. But apparently on a level part along here, and it indicated that you had to take a right. So you're going down there. He indicated to her that they're taking this right, not to go straight ahead to turn here. She acknowledged him. He goes down the trail path, realises she's not behind him, comes back, she's nowhere to be seen. Nowhere. Always take trouble. Double trouble, YouTube. Well, should say triple trouble. You two and me. Triple trouble. So, that is the route she took. But I've got a video, as I said, I found this video and I was just, yes. I like to try and find, I know there's a lot of people talking about this woman. Right? And I like to find something different, which is about this woman, but something no one else has ever shown. Unless you're a member of that person's channel. Right? So, the man changed his story from walking to hiking. There was something weird going on. I hope it wasn't another Hawaii incident. What's that? What's a Hawaii incident? It doesn't seem, something is not right. Put it that way. She's, as I've said, she is an experienced hiker. She's hiked all these mountains around here. All of them. She goes there every weekend hiking. She'll go with friends. And they always go early in the morning so they get back down off the mountain before the midday sun. Right? They could have been off that mountain by what? 10, 15. If she hadn't gone missing. Because by the time he phoned law enforcement and whatever, it was getting on for 9:30. No, she wasn't wearing a beanie, Nero. She had it. She used to have a beanie tucked into like a bout, a red beanie, tucked into a bout. Perhaps she did lose a beanie. Perhaps that's what she went looking for. Oh my God, there's my beanie down there. I've got to go and get my beanie. No. Right? She's not going to do that. Oh, fuck, that's my beanie gone. I'll get another one. Well, that would be my attitude. But she didn't have a beanie on. She wasn't wearing any beanies that day. But she had, in one picture you can see, I don't know if that was a picture of the day she was there, but you see her with a red beanie tucked into like a belt or pocket or something. So they know it's her beanie. But all I've got to do is get DNA. Have they done DNA on the hat? Oh, she did have a mobile phone on her. Yeah, it was in photo, but not in, I'm not sure. I haven't seen any photos of her on the mountain with the beanie in the hat. I've seen photos of her hiking on other days where she's had the beanie tucked into her belt. Right? The beanie, yeah. No thumb. No thumbs down. Right, so, yeah, they said she did have a phone on her, but they've not released any information on the data of that phone. But she may have been in an area where you wouldn't have got a signal. But on the ridge of that mountain, you'd fucking get a signal somewhere. Surely they've got internet around there somewhere, so you could pick up a signal from somewhere. But they've said they've not released any information on the data of her phone. So she did have her phone on her. Yeah, Cassius didn't have her phone. You know, all the others, from what I understand, left the phone at home when they went missing, when they walked out. They've left the phone at home, they've left the watch at home, they left everything. She didn't go out on her own. She was with two others. This is what doesn't make sense. She was with two other people. But all the others have been on their own. Yeah, all the photos I've seen of her on that day, she wasn't wearing the bikini, but I have seen a photo of her, but as I said, I'm not sure if it's from that day or from any other hike she was on, where the red beanie was tucked into either the belt or the pocket. But there's the route she took. Now we're going to watch a video. Hopefully I can get it up. Where is it? Take that off. Put that on. Magic. Whoa, look at that. I'm getting better at this. And he's called the hiking chef because he's a chef. So he said he can't get out as much as he wanted to. He couldn't give his time to a search team because of his job. But he tells you all this in here. So we're going to listen from the beginning because it's quite interesting what it has to say.
The San Gabriel Mountains, John Muir called them impracticable for a man or beast, all from bushes, jagged rocks, and precipices. Is different. It's not the usual content. About a month ago, I
get back on the screen, you stupid thing.
Deep into the Angeles National Forest, way back on Highway 2 to the 6,000-foot trailhead leading to via the West Upper Ridge Trail. At that time, it had been about a month since Monica Reza went missing off this trail. Like so many others, her story stuck me. Over the past 5 years, we've heard about too many hikers went missing off this trail. Like so many others, her story stuck me.
There's one of the photos that was taken of her on the day. There's a red beanie. Now this photo was taken on the way back after being at the top. And they started to make the way back. Or they took some photos at the top. There's a red beanie. Right. So she did have it on her, but was not wearing it. And I say, I'm not deleting nothing new. No, the witness names have never been disclosed either. The witnesses, the people who was there, all of them, even those who was helping, have not been disclosed. None of them have been disclosed. Why is that? Oh, has any of you seen that video that was out? I've seen it today. And it was about a young girl. Oh, I did write her name down. Because like my grandson actually said to me today, you forget everything. Right? Her name is Chandra Levy. She disappeared May 2001. Now her parents believe it's got something to do with these UFO things. And I'm listening to this video today and I thought, no, she was on an affair with a senator who then lost his job through that. Through her disappearing, he lost his job. If anything, she maybe got took out because maybe, let's say, pillow talk. She probably heard being told something by him, which she shouldn't have known about. But otherwise, I don't think he's got Chandra Levy, I don't think has got anything to do with this, because she wasn't a scientist. She wasn't anything in that area. She wasn't in the army. She wasn't anything in that area. So, yeah, Chandra Levy. Now, I wrote down some each day about Monica. She has a bachelor in metallurgical engineering in Columbia University. She then got a Master's of Science in Materials Engineering in 1997 at the UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles. She was the Director of Materials Processing in 2023. She and some other co-person invented the nickel-based super alloy at Rocket whatever place in the mid-90s called Mondelez. Now that is very, very special metal. You know what? It's hard to get any information on this case. It's 8 months old, but I have tried punched in keywords, everything, to try and find information on this case, on the search. This is what I was doing. I was punching in information to try and find anything about the search that went on for this case. And it was really quite hard. There wasn't much in there. And everyone I watched, it was repeating the same. So no information was really coming out about the search either. But nothing was mentioned about the names of the witnesses or anything. Yeah. And what? Yes, it's a replica metal of the UFO metal to make rockets. Yeah. It's so that then we wouldn't have to keep depending on other countries for parts or for metals from other countries. The USA would have this metal that no other country would have. She's very, very intelligent. That's why that bit about her running along where it's flat, that doesn't make sense. Hikers don't run. Hikers do not run. I've seen people go running up mountains and hillsides and everything because that is what they are trained to do. But hikers don't. They hike. Her friends and family going to doing a research allegedly soon. Be interesting. Guess who else was down there doing while that search was going on? Guess who else was there? SF. SF was there. But that's the top.
With me. Over the past, we've heard about too many hikers vanishing almost the mountain. No signs, no closure for their families, sometimes not even remains. I've had enough. I've spent years building up outdoor experience, survival skills, and gear, and I realize I just can't sit back anymore. My lifestyle doesn't really allow me to commit full time to a search and rescue team, but overwhelming sense of guilt if I don't at least go out and use what I've got to try and help even a small way. In this episode, I head into the remote area where Monica's beanie was found nearly 1,000 feet off the trail in Devil's Canyon. I've hiked this mountain before and even filmed a episode here, going from
Right. I know the music's very faint at the moment, but a bit later on, I'll have to turn the sound off because the music comes up quite loud. So what I'll do, okay, can I play some music? I'll just upload some and I'll play that music over the background of this one. But then when the music really loud on their end, I'll have to turn it down and I'll put titles on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where's that song gone? I don't know which one to have. Because the one I wanted isn't on my thing no more. Why isn't it there? Right, I'm just uploading one now and I'll play that one. Hopefully it's one I like. If not, I'll have to upload another one till I find one I like. Because the one I wanted isn't in my files no more. I'll have to download it again. Why is it not playing? I hate these apps. Come on. Yeah, I will keep this one. Right, I've got to play it because of that music in the background of his. But what I'll do, I'll put subtitles.
Waterman to 3 points. It was brutal. I kept getting lost and had to check my map every 100 yards. This time I relied heavy on my drone to help me navigate and document the terrain. I spent hours reviewing over an hour of drone footage, scanning it closely for anything unusual. I'm only showing about 10 minutes of that in this video, but no, there was much more behind the scenes. So here's how my day unfolded. On the way up, I pulled over at Newcomb's Ranch, a popular Friday meetup spot for car enthusiasts. I posted a little reel and well, let's just I was thrilled. Some folks want the spot to go viral, but the more they commented, the more it spread. Oh well, that's the internet for you.
I've got to put it on silent. Right, so I've got the words up, but I'll just put it on silent, I think.
A missing person named Monica Reza. It has actually been
I've got to get my music back up and play it.
fellow outdoor enthusiast, Monica Reza, the only person out here right now. We're at the front gate of this fire road that eventually trail. As I first stepped onto the trail, I thought, wow, this is going to be harder than I imagined. So many pockets, bushes, trees, even boulders big enough to hide me. Where do you even begin? Every turn, every shadow, hiding something. I'm gonna kind of just keep my eyes peeled, looking for anything out of the ordinary. Just go from there, and I'm really gonna try to get to that point where she was last seen about a mile and a half.
Now, see point 2 on there, that's where their friends stopped.
A little less than that from here.
Hope you can read the writing that's there. Come on. Oh, I hate this snacks. Just scroll down on ya. Well, I'm trying to get the captions down so I can skip to the end. Because he was helping look as well. Even though they told people who weren't hikers not to look. Okay. I've got to do it this way, otherwise I'd have to delete the whole video and I could get a strike.
Could easily maybe have mistaken and gone down.
The sound music stopped or not.
What looks to be like a little rock outcropping or rock fortress that's sticking out of the ground. And just kind of looking at it at first glance, I see a lot of little like caves, like little crevices. The guy was only 30 feet in front of her. Maybe a mountain lion walked out in front of her, and Monica was only about 100 pounds. The mountain lion could have thought to take her on and then drag her somewhere. I know it's really gruesome and no one wants to really talk about it, but that's really likely what happened. I'm really sorry to say this, but I just don't see any other situation happening. Another possibility could be, I've had speculation on, is a serial killer. Once again, these mysterious hikers have been missing only the past 5 years, almost disappearing off the face of the mountain. No explanation. No one ever finds them. Maybe just a clue here and there. Could it be a serial killer lurking out here? You know, just following people, maybe living up here a couple days at a time. If you guys think something or agree with me or something else could have happened to her, please leave a comment below. Let me know. Since then, I've heard other rumors, even of possible kidnapping. No matter what the theory is, it's all awful, and it doesn't change the fact that someone's missing. consistent as his time and growth and dry shrub, looking for a scent or something that smells out of ordinary. So constantly being aware to that. I've never like this before, and it's exhausting in a way you don't expect. Your eyes have to sweep over every rock, every shadow, every tangle of brush, because the 1 second you don't could be the 1 second you miss something. I'm about a mile in, and right now I really want to post a map or story of what happened that morning. I found it on Instagram on a page called San Gabriel Missing Hikers. He tells the situation perfectly.
The morning of June 22nd at 6:30 a.m., Monica carpooled with 2 other hikers to the 6,000-foot Dayu trailhead parking lot. The intended trails the Waterman via Upper West Ridge from all trails. The 3 of them hiked up point number 2 just before the sharp incline. Hikers decided that they would wait between point 2 and 3 for Monica and the other hiker to return. Monica and the other hiker made the ascent all the way to point number 5, where they took some photos and rested for about 20 minutes. On the way back down, they decided to start jogging in order to return to the other hiker over the flat area between 5 and 3. Around an area called Double Delight, they took one more photo at 9:02 a.m. They continued together up until point 3, where she was last seen. The hiker in front was ahead about 30 feet, let her know that they were headed right, northbound along the trail. The hiker went down the trail about 150 feet, where they had previously talked about cutting through to save some time. The hiker waited here for about 5 minutes, but never saw Monica come around the bend. From here, he started shouting and heading back where he had last seen her. From here, he began searching and shouting about 200 yards west along the ridge. Then, moving 125 feet southbound from point 3, began shouting and calling for her as well. After about 25 minutes of searching, the hiker heads back to point 3 and the trail to inform the other hiker of the situation. He meets with her between point 2 and 3 and lets her know the situation. As he is doing so, a group of 5 hikers are making their way up and agree to help them look for Monica. The group and the male hiker head up to point 3 while the one stays below at point 2. They begin to fan out, calling for Monica. After about 30 minutes, one of the hikers, a former search and rescue volunteer, tells the hiker to head back to the car just in case Monica took another way down. The hiker heads back down and meets up with the other hiker at point 2. Then from here, between point 2 and 1 at 10:52 a.m., they decide to use their Garmin InReach to get search and rescue involved. From the parking lot, they are able to flag down some vehicles to help get a hold of the sheriff's office. Down a sheriff deputy who arrived on the scene at 11:15 a.m. By noon, the first search and rescue members arrive. The following morning on June 23rd, search and rescue locate Monica's beanie about 500 feet off trail in this area, leading everyone to believe that instead of turning right northbound, she had gone left southbound. Up until now, this is the only clue that has been found.
This thing is really telling me to go.
See, to me, that does not make sense. Why would she go off trail? Why would you go off trail? Right? Why would you go off trail? Could she have been going after her hat? Possible. Could she have seen something or someone that needed help? Has that ever been thought about? Could she have seen something where someone needed help? So she's headed that way and got into danger herself. But I'm sure if she was on the mountains, they would have found her. But there's areas where the ravines are that big and that deep. It's really hard to find anyone in them ravines.
Go up this canyon right up here. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, take my time and pick through this canyon, which would be on the other side of the ridgeline where her beanie was found. I have the map downloaded on Gaia. It's a GPX, which is extremely accurate, a lot more accurate than all 1,000 feet from that steep trail that I was just out. At the top of this is where her beanie was found, but on the other side, I'm just gonna check this canyon out, take my time. I hope I make it to the top. If not, I'm gonna have to kind of come back down and do a big edit. Hopefully I can get up there. I kind of see a little bit of a route, so let's go see. It hit me. Whoa, you're really doing this. And then thought I'm avoiding correcting. What am I gonna do if I actually... I am really about 50 yards from the trail, scanning the side of the hill, scanning up in the trees in case a cat dragged her up. I'm not even close to losing hope, but I'm just amazed. It's like finding a needle in a haystack out here. So I'm really trying hard. I'm gonna keep on heading up to that ridge line. Like John Muir said, this is some of the steepest country you'll ever see. I've just been really picking my way up the hill from that trail. I can see Highway 3 and the parking lot, like right above the parking lot. Probably close to 7,000 feet, I would say. I was kind of smelling a little bit of a twang, but it did smell more like the dog poodle bush, kind of like a little bit of like a marijuana smell. So nothing other than that at every single tree I pass, just in case. I'm gonna get up to the top here, probably look up and down the ridge for a little bit, maybe about an hour, and then I'm gonna take the drone out and see what I can look at from there. Please, if you guys notice anything in this video, comment below. As you can see, I'm back now, headed through the curve. Back there, it's just maybe a couple hundred yards. If you look around, there's so many like boulder mounds up here. Kind of makes for a great home for a mountain lion. So I'm constantly kind of looking around me. So lots of places to maybe drag her. I hate talking about this, but it's real. I'm gonna kind of just look further up here towards Mount Waterman and really fly my drone really good all around these rock outcroppings and down where they found her beanie. Maybe I'll make my way towards that direction and also fly around there and down. I have about an hour of flight time. I'm starting to get really sad up here too. I've been up here before, and there's definitely a distinct trail now that they made. I was trying to really show it in a couple of the last shots, but before, no trail at all. I'm gonna head up here a little bit towards Mount Waterman and see what I can find. I couldn't believe it, but I'm 99% sure line scat right on. On this day, it was close to 90 degrees up here, and while I was editing, the Forest Service actually rescued someone who had come up looking for Monica. They've advised against going out to search for her. The heat and the unforgiving terrain can get you into a lot of trouble fast.
Off trail, like I can see the trail from here. I just want to show you guys how hard it is to see the trail because there's so many pine needles here, and I do think they cleaned the trail up since they've been searching for her, because the last time I was through here you couldn't even see the trail, you just had to rely on your map. So without a map it is so easy to get turned around. I was really stressing in that episode when I was up here alone because I just felt so isolated from everybody and honestly lost off and on, taking the wrong turn, having to turn back, go back uphill to get back on trail. Check this out, you guys. Look at the ground here. And here comes the trail right here.
It's not easy to see that trail.
This is just wild. So many birds to look behind and crevices. I'm really taking my time and scanning. I've been looking kind of this whole ridge line behind rocks and stuff. I found a pretty comfortable spot. I also want to be vigilant of my surroundings. If she did get attacked by a mountain lion, I don't want the same thing to happen to me, so I constantly need to be having my head on a swivel.
I never once thought about mountain lions. You know what I mean? I don't know if they look that way, but he's talking about them a lot.
Headed back to the lab. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Exactly. So why would she go off trail? Did she see something or see someone that needed help? Did she lose her hat and think, oh, I'll just go and grab my hat? Because none of it makes sense apart from something like that, or even a mountain tiger. Like, there's no, I'm not saying there was no pings, but just saying they're not released any data on her phone. Yeah, she had red on. And you know, all this colour on here, this white and sandy, you can see red so easily. But this is the ridge line. Why would you run along this ridge? deep it is. Like, I would not be able to do that. I have trouble walking. And my son's mine. That's the week.
I'm sorry, but I have used all my drone battery, and it was really hard. Didn't see really the ordinary. It looks like I'm gonna have to head back right now. I'm really sorry to Monica's family. You guys have my deepest condolences. I'm gonna get going and head back to the truck.
John Muir once called these mountains a most impractical wilderness. And you know what? He was right. They are rugged, steep, and unforgiving, but they also are a place of beauty and resilience. And I believe, just like these mountains endure, the truth about what happened to Monica will endure too, until one day it's finally found.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more hiking and cooking out, subscribe to my channel. See you guys next episode.
Let's just take this off. Bring that back up. Come on.
I'm here at 3 points. Going pretty good these last few days.
See, he goes around that area quite a lot. Me. So it's not as if he doesn't know these mountains. He does. He hikes around them a lot. Oh, what am I looking at? Oh God, I'm at the wrong place. Did she have a call to run? Hence, they won't share what that last month. I don't know. But they're not. They did say they're not disclosed. They haven't disclosed any data of her phone. So she did have a phone on her. I think if there's mountain lions, do you think they'd have it as a hiking trail? I don't think so. Because otherwise you'd be packing yourself a rifle, wouldn't you? And not a fucking walking stick. I'd have a rifle on my back. Or in my arm. So I don't think too much about the mountain lion theory. Is it possible? Possible. Could be lions out there, we don't know. But I really can't see hikers being allowed up there when if they knew there's mountain lions there. They wouldn't allow it. But the fact that they're saying her beanie was like, yeah, I'll see if I can put it back up again. Oh no, clicked on the wrong one. Come on. The fact that they were saying her beanie was about this area. And she's about to turn, just go down that way, right? Down. So why would she go that way or off track? personally, I wouldn't go off track. If I seen someone in need of help and I was with someone, I'd go round that bend, go, Paul, whatever his name is, we need help here. There's someone's trapped. Yeah? There's someone who is trapped. Because to go off the trail does not make any sense. Not for an experienced hiker. Yeah, a phone would still ping, even when it's turned off, believe it or not. Your phone still pings. It was tucked tight in, yeah. Did she leave it as a clue to the direction she was going, being taken against will? Well, let's have a look at the map, right? Could she? Because there was a round here, in pain, not in anguish. What does anguish mean? What does anguish mean? Upset or whatever. I don't know. But it wasn't help. It wasn't anything like that. So to get from there, let's have a look at this map. Right, I'm going to share this one again. No, it's not there. Okay. Let's have a look here. Have I still got it on my... Okay, I'll have to open a new stream up. Oh yeah, stop the stream, didn't I? Media. I'm almost stopping. Bing. I can stop that one. Right. As I said, this is the route she took. Right, you can see it's... And it's when they got to round about here, this is where they really get steep. Starts getting steep around about here. Because point 1 was there, round about there. Point 2 is round about here. Point 3, no, point 1, point 2, point 3. So the woman stopped at point 2. Her yoga friend stopped at point 2. Said it gets too steep for her here. Right? She's then gone all the way up to here. They've gone running along here like that, like you would. You're out hiking, but we're gonna go for a run as well. No, doesn't happen. Right? Now her beanie was found over here. Now as you can see, right, I'm gonna zoom in. There's no trails here. No. The only trail is this red one. There's no other trail. Because this is an area which... Oh, I have got a video where the guy mentions it. I'll play that video in a minute. But there's no trails anywhere around here. So there, they've got to know where they're going. Because they're going from here, right, onto this trail. They've got to get down from there onto this trail. Onto the trail there. Whichever is closest. And then go along this trail here, right, all the way along this trail, and then Twin Peaks is here, And she was heard round about here. Right, there is a trail going off here. Right, and that was the trail that these people were going on when they heard that woman about 2:30 in the afternoon. But as I said, that could have been, there's possible quite a few hikers up on that mountain. 2:30 in the afternoon, not the right time to be going hiking. Really is not the right time. Right? But she was heard somewhere around here. The voice was heard around here. Right, let's have a look at my map. Oh no, sorry. Twin Peaks. The voice was heard around here somewhere. So once, if the voice was in this area here, right, it's off the trail again. There's no trails there. Why would you come off the trail again? And that's quite a distance from there to this trail here. I mean, no trail, you could get lost. You really could, unless you've got a map on you and a compass and you're going the right way. But you've got to keep looking at the map and following the map to get to this trail. Once you leave this trail, you've got to keep following a map because there's no pathway, there's no trail. Oh, I think my son will be on the want for a while. Not until I get some sort of an apology. For what my grandson said to me today. And I can give my grandson the verbal abuse. So I just walked away and walked out the house and came home. Because he doesn't realise what he said hurt and upset me. He doesn't understand that when he says certain things, it can upset people. And unless they correct him, not by shouting at him, not by raging at him, just say, that wasn't nice, Ellis, you need to apologise. You can't say things like that. You know what I mean? He's never going to learn. So I'm looking forward to the next quiet couple of weeks. But yeah, you're coming off the trail. And that's quite a distance. That's about the same distance going off that trail from there to there, right, as it is from going from there down to point 2. Right? But you've got no trail. At least I've got a trail there. You've got no trail here to get down to this trail. And this is quite a long walk as well because, Christ, this takes you right down to here. To the chairlift. You know what I mean? So, where did she go from this point here? We know she didn't go that way because her friend said she didn't come this way. But are we to believe her friend? Are we to believe her friend that they came running along this area here? Make time up. Are we to believe her friend when he says we've another route that would have took us a shortcut, but because as you can see, there is no trail anywhere. You stick to the trail. Why would you go off trail even there? Even if it is going to save you 10, 15, 20 minutes walk. Why? Why would you go off trail? You wouldn't. That guy went off trail once or twice, but he didn't go far from me. He could see where the trail was. He didn't go, oh, well, you know what, I've got to here. I've got to here. I think I'll just go over this way. No, because as I said, this area has been, well, you've only got to look. There's no other trails in this area. They've just got that one main one. There's no other trail anywhere. Even all the trails that seem to be here, this area, and some over here, right? And I think some over here. But there's none here. Why? It's because it's known how treacherous it is. It's marked up red, so it's a treacherous one, that one is. You're going through an area, I can't remember what they call it now, but what I'll do is I'll take this one off. Take this one. Let me get my YouTube up. I'm going to listen to what this says. So, we can stop sharing that one. I think I've got it here. Yeah. Hold on, I'm just getting this. I'm just trying to get in the right place. Right, we'll start from here. I've got to share it first with you. Come on. What's the red line? I'd say because of what the area is going through. That area is not a good area. You know what I mean? It's like us walking down a high street now with all the illegals. It's not good. Yeah? That's like that hiking route. It's a dangerous route. It's a red route. It's dangerous. I think that's what it means anyway. Get the fuck off my screen. The red line isn't far away, no, but you have to have your map and some compass sort of thing to get to that red trail, because you could easily go off and get hurt even more. I just heard a woman. I don't know. I don't think it is a road, because when I look at it, and it takes you, and it's called Pacific Crest Trail Recreation Trail. I don't know, it goes into that area which is known for she's probably done that walk. You know what I mean? Because, as I said, she's up there every weekend. Well, I'm just trying to get this video up for you. Oh, God. Let's close that one down. Oh, no, not that one. Let's close this one down. Right, I'd see. Come on, what happened then? Screen. Thank you. Right. He tells you about that area. Eating this up, okay? Luckily, I don't have to rely on the words on this one because it's very hard to see the word because I think it's got like black writing or grey writing against a black background. Not very good.
Regular yoga group never came home. What followed was an absolutely enormous effort. Dozens of search teams, helicopters, drones, scent dogs, technical rope rescuers went in to try to bring him. After a week, exhaustive searching across miles of brutally difficult terrain, all they managed to find was a tiny hat similar to the one that Monica had on her person on a ridgeline. Additionally, they reportedly also found some lip balm, though it's unclear if that belonged to Monica or not. It has also been stated that investors also attempt to track her movements via cell phone towers, though the resulting information doesn't seem to have been released publicly. Now, the case has escalated from what I suppose was being thought of as an isolated incident into a federal inquiry. The White House, the Department of Energy, the Department of Defense, and the House Oversight Committee are now examining Monica's disappearance as part of into around a dozen American scientists who have vanished or passed away under unusual circumstances. The committee has gone as far as sending formal letters to the FBI director, the Secretary of Defense, and the NASA administrator, demanding briefings on the matter. What started as a weekend hike, thing that a lot of people are struggling to make sense of. Monica was by any reason the most accomplished material scientist in American aerospace. She earned her undergraduate degree in metallurgical engineering from Columbia University, as in materials engineering from UCLA in 1997. She spent 25 years at Pratt & Whitney before moving to Rocketdyne, where she would go on to spend over 3 decades. She ultimately moved to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, where she held the title of Director of Materials Processing, a move that happened quietly with no public announcement sometime after 2023. Her most notable scientific contribution, as mentioned, was the nickel-based superalloy she co-invented at Rocketdyne in the mid-1990s, which she and Dallas called Mondalloy. This is certainly not my area, but when you dig into what this alloy actually does and why it matters, it's genuinely impressive. Mondalloy is burn-resistant in what's known as oxygen-rich stage combustion environment, is notoriously destructive, and one in which American engines had previously struggled. The AR-1 engine program, which relies heavily on Mondalloy, was an $804 million public-private partnership designed to specifically end American dependence on foreign-made engines. Mondelloy is what makes that possible. The alloy ended up being incorporated into roughly 12 components of the AR-1 rocket engine. From 1999 onwards, Monica worked directly with the US Air Force Research Laboratory to scale it for defense applications. She was named an Associate Technical Fellow 2004, and that same year received the very first HENAC Luminary Award. In terms of her personal life, it's quite sparse. She is known to have been a resident of Los Angeles County. What little we do know from her personal world came from a neighbour who posted on the Crescenta Valley Sheriff Station Facebook page, and they wrote, "This is my neighbour, and we are all praying Monica is safe. What we know is that she went hiking with her yoga group and her car was parked at one of their houses. How it happened in a group setting is beyond me." A lot of people seem to share that sentiment. How does someone go missing in broad daylight on a trail? It's something we'll get into shortly. Physically, she was described fit, approximately feet and 11 inches tall, weighing around 100 pounds, with grey hair and brown eyes. Sergeant John Gilbert of the LA County Sheriff's Department described her in the early days of the search as an experienced hiker who went out regularly in the area with her group and was in good shape. Beyond hiking, she was a member of a yoga studio that blends physical practice with spiritual and philosophical elements. She had recently been training to become a yoga instructor there. Two members were her hiking companions, and they were also, unfortunately, the last people to see her alive. On the morning of Sunday, the 22nd of June 2025, Monica drove to the home of one of her yoga group and carpooled with two companions, one male and one female, up the Angeles Crest Highway. Their destination was the Mount Waterman area of the Angeles National Forest, specifically the San Gabriel Wilderness, a pine and chaparral high country roughly 45 minutes northeast downtown Los Angeles, where the summit is 1,000 feet. The group arrived at the day-use car park on the Angeles Crest Highway, situated at about 6,000 feet. It's a pullout where the Pacific Crest Trail crosses the highway, roughly a mile and a bit east of 3 Points. At approximately 9:10 in the morning, the trio set off on foot. At some point along the upper West Ridge Trail, one of the two companions, the woman from the yoga group, turned back towards the car as she felt that the terrain was becoming too harsh for her. Monica and the remaining companion continued towards the ridgeline at elevations of around 7,000 to 8,000 feet, and it was while descending the West Ridge that she disappeared. The area where she disappeared sits on the edge of what local hike as Diablo Canyon, regarded by those who know the Angeles National Forest well as some of the most unforgiving ground in the entire forest. There are ravines that drop away sharply, places where a fall could send a person hundreds of feet down into drainages that search teams may never. It's the kind of terrain that, as we'll get into, gave the search effort some of its most serious problems. According to a source speaking to the LA Magazine, which I should note that the LSAD has not officially confirmed, the pair had begun running in the moments before she disappeared. Something described as unexpected given how steep and uneven that section was, particularly on the downhill portions of the ridge. The source essentially just said that this really was not the kind of playing, even as a skilled hiker. It was somewhere along this descent that things went wrong. The male companion, who was approximately 30 feet ahead of her, though it's worth noting he initially told investigators 30 yards before correcting himself to 30 feet, turned to check on her. He said Monica smiled and waved, and he kept moving. When he turned again a moment later, she was gone. He called out and received notes. The point of the disappearance itself was close to the Angeles Crest Highway, and still or saw things so close that the highway was said to be both visible and audible. What makes this disappearance particularly hard to explain is something that emerged during the search itself. The female companion, who had turned back earlier and was already well below the ridge, more than 100 feet lower in elevation, and over 1,600 feet away as the crow flies, was reportedly able to hear the male companion calling out for Monica from that distance. If sound was carrying that far across the terrain, it's really not clear what happened. If Monica had fallen or been injured, you'd think people would have for help. After Monica seemingly disappeared, the male companion descended from the ridge. He eventually caught up with the female companion, who was well on her way, making her way down. On their descent together, the pair reportedly encountered. There is one further detail that has circulated in online communities tracking the case, though I want to be clear that it is unverified. There was a report that two hikers returning from Twin Peaks at around 2:30 PM heard what sounded like a female voice in anguish or distress coming from the Twin Peaks saddle area. Whether that report was ever formally investigated by search teams is not publicly known. She was wearing a red long-sleeved shirt, green hiking pants and hiking shoes, and was carrying a backpack with several litres of water. No mobile phone pings, text messages or outgoing calls from her phone during the window of her disappearance has ever been publicly disclosed by investigators. There have been sightings from other hikers or from motorists on the Angeles Crest Highway since. Within hours of Monica going missing, her companions and family raised the alarm with LASD's Crescenta Valley Station. By the evening of the 22nd, the aviation unit and Montreal search and rescue had already been deployed. Formal
stand is, why would you be 30 feet ahead of your partner? Would you not be close to, you know what I mean? Why was she 30 feet behind him? Was she out of breath because they'd been running? What? Plus, I don't think someone could have snatched her. Because what are the chances of her being that far behind? Right? For someone to go, oh, she's on her own now, we can grab her now. No. I think most logical way of thinking is she saw something, right? She saw something and she's gone to help. And they said there's like these big holes that you can fall down and it will take you down to the bottom of the ravine. Right? There's them sort of tunnels and whatever there and everything. So going off the trail, you don't know where the declines are or anything. Right? You don't know where everything is. That's why they have trails. So I just don't understand why he was so far ahead of her either. Why didn't he just wait at the corner for her? You know what I mean? Why didn't he just take 5 minutes out there and wait for her? Why carry on? Because I do that when I'm walking and I'm out anywhere with anyone and I'm ahead of them or whatever. Or if they're ahead of me, I'll go, if they say, we're taking this right here, I'll say, just wait on the corner for us then. Just wait there for me to catch up. Or if I'm ahead of them, I'll wait for them to catch up. It doesn't make sense. I'll be looking into that man. Personally. I'll be looking into him. Because he said he was looking for 25 minutes. It took him 25 minutes to get back to where he last saw her. And then to look so far one way and so far the other way. 25 minutes. Yeah, I've just seen it come up on my phone. I'll go and have a look in a minute.
release went ahead of an expanded operation the following morning. Acting Captain Ryan A. Vienna of the Crescenta Valley Station issued the first public statement saying, "We are deeply concerned about the whereabouts of Monica, who has now been missing for over 24 hours. We have deployed numerous resources, including Air Rescue 5 and other technologies to aid in the search." By the second and third days of the search, roughly 35 searchers were in the field, and the operation had expanded to include almost every major Southern California search and rescue team. The terrain was brutal enough that searchers had to rappel on long ropes around waterfalls inside the drainages, and at one point an entire team had to be extracted by helicopter. Sergeant Gilbert described the terrain as highly technical and difficult for inexperienced hikers. On top of that, swathes of the gullies were choked with poodle dog bush, a post-fire shrub whose hairs cause severe dermatitis on contact, which blocked huge sections of the search lines. Drones and helicopters conducted FLIR thermal imaging sweeps across the area too, though it's worth noting that warm conditions combined with dense foliage can significantly reduce what thermal imaging is able to detect, which may go somewhere to explaining why those sweeps came back.
Yeah, because trees and bushes hold on to the heat. Right? That's why they said that in the Sebastian Rogers case, like the heat, trees hold heat. So it's really quite hard to find anyone in a forest or... But she had red on. So did they not have... If they was able to find a hat, then surely they could have found her.
With nothing, despite the scale of the effort. By day 6, search teams from as far afield as Tulare County had joined. LASD took the step of issuing a fair warning to would-be civilian searchers, making it very clear that the terrain was simply too dangerous, and the coordinated grids couldn't by participants. And the last thing that they wanted someone else to have got lost or injured. On day 8, the 29th of June, the SD formally concluded what they termed the initial response phase of the search. Captain Vienna's closing statement was candid about both the scale and frustration at coming away with so little. A week ago today, Monica went missing while hiking near the Angeles National Search was initiated that involved a Los Angeles County search, but numerous resources from throughout leveraging local, state and federal assets. The use of forensic technology, photography, airships, canines and other specialised tools were used, leaving no available resource untapped. One unusual detail emerged from the dog team handlers. Searchers found a beanie hat that appeared to be consistent with the one that Monica had on her person at the time. There are two versions of this event that I have come across. The first insinuates that the dog led the searchers to the beanie and then couldn't follow the scent any further. The other version suggests that the ground searchers found the beanie. The dogs were then brought to the scene and were not able to follow the scent past it. Either way, it does appear that the scent trail did end right there. It is important to say, as far as I can ascertain, it is confirmed that it was definitely Monica's beanie.
Wow, come on. Come on. 2 and 2 together does not make 5, it makes 4. And when you've got someone who is known to wear a red beanie, has got a red beanie in the photographs that was taken at the top of the mountain before they turned back and places like that, then you find a red beanie, all you got to do is DNA. You're going to get DNA off that hat. But we've had no results of that come back. Nothing. No results from the hat. Nothing. And something else I found out today. Right? Where was it? Oh, God. No. Oh, fuck, I didn't write it down. Something about the general when he went missing and what they found. Oh, it was an Air Force sweatshirt. But they can't say for definite whether it was his or not. But like I said, even if the dogs had followed her sent down to that area where that hat was found, where did she go from there? Surely there'd be a scent of her leaving that area. Where did she go? They're going to just go poof, gone. So it's weird.
Only that it's a match. I suppose the fact that the dogs couldn't follow a scent could lead one to conclude that it was a coincidence and it wasn't Monica's.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what to make of that. No other item belonging to her.
That was a plant. That was her hat. That was planted there to take searchers and everyone away from where they should be looking. Right? Because as I said, why would she go off trail unless she saw someone who needed help? But then surely she's on the ridge. Yeah, she's up on a ridge. She'd have cell phone. Yes, why didn't she call in for help then, if she saw someone needing help? Why didn't she go around and call her friend and say, hey, someone up here needing help? Why didn't she call down to him and get help that way? Why did she go off trail? Because there's no way she was on that mountain ridge and just went poof. No way.
Never been publicly confirmed as recovered. So I'd have to imagine they just quite literally found nothing else. In August of 2025, he returned to the area following up on new leads. During that same search day, the team had to break off to rescue a completely separate woman who had fallen roughly 300 feet over the edge on the Angeles Crest Highway nearby. I'd imagine that affirmed that their decision not to allow volunteers earlier was probably right. Into the autumn, search effort passed largely to a civilian-led Facebook group called Help Find Monica Reza in the Angeles National Forest, which became the main coordination hub for volunteers who wanted to do their own independent searching. Members of this group continued to hike the drainages south of the ridgeline on their own time. I do want to flag something here that was interesting, and a number of researchers have also pointed this out. On the 26th of June 2025, just 4 days after Monica went missing, and 3 days after the initial search phase even officially ended, a Find a Grave memorial was created in her name. It listed that she passed away on the 22nd of June 2025, gave the location as the Angeles National Forest, and listed the position of remains as a green burial. Now, a green burial is a specific thing.
Now, a name pops into my head as to who would do something like that, but I'm not saying anything, right? Because that page, someone said what Neil McCaslin, the wife said, what he was wearing was found in the second home. Yeah. I heard that all his hiking gear was in the second home, which didn't make sense to me. Why would it be in his second home and not where he lived? No, they're not saying whether it was his or not, the sweatshirt, but they did find like an armed forces or whatever it was sweatshirt. Well, we're going to be covering him as well, so look into that. I'll look into that as to where that was found. About how far away it was. It wasn't far. From what I understand, it wasn't far. Yeah, I heard that as well, that apparently his hiking gear is at the second. I'm thinking, what? Why would it be there? It'd be in his main home, would it not? Where he would go hiking when he's not at work, or on the weekends when people tend to go hiking. But he was retired, so he could go hiking in the week. So why would it be at his second home? That to me did not make sense.
It means that a burial has taken place with a biodegradable container. Obviously, as of now, Monica has never been found, so somebody declared that she had passed away, specified a burial method, and listed all this into an active search above the Angeles National Forest. The page was created by an anonymous contributor to have been taken down.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was just a troll or something else. It's not really clear. For the best part of 8 months, Monica's case was covered primarily by local outlets, and all following along on online forums. That changed in February 2026, when a retired US Air Force Major General named William Neal McCasland disappeared from his home in Albuquerque. Now, it does seem that the two had a connection in some sense.
Right, I'm not going any more into that McCasland because I want to do a live on him myself. But beggars belief why she would go off trail. Where did she go? Once he turned that corner to go down the hill, start like in decline, right? They've been declining all the way down. And what first of all, why would you go running? The ground might be look flat, but it's not that flat. You've got stones that can move under your feet. You've got dirt that moves. Anything could happen. Hikers don't run, right? And how did he get 30 feet ahead of her? Did she stop? Did she stop to have some water? What? Because why did he not wait for her? When he turned round and saw her and said, we're going this way, why did he not just wait for her there? Now, this is why the crime channel kicks in. This, I'm quite surprised some other crime channels haven't kicked in on this. Right? This is just how our minds work. I'd be looking into that guy. I really would be looking into that man. Because he's 30 feet ahead of her, no one around, no one else around. And then he spends 25 minutes looking for her before he goes down and catches up with that other woman. Started rowing with searches, did he? Wow. I would definitely be looking into him. Because would she have gone missing if that ever third person had been up there with him? That's my question. Would she have gone missing if that woman had been with him? I don't think she would have. That's why I say I'm looking at him. My saying is, prove me wrong. Because that's where our minds come into overtime when we hear things that don't make sense. And it's always the last person with the person who's gone missing or whatever. I hope they are looking into him. How did she say Monica went that way? How would he know? He was 30 feet ahead of her and he turned the corner. And 10 minutes later, down the mountain, he thought, oh, Monica's not behind me. 10 minutes later, how would he know where she went? So, but as I said, as an experienced hiker, why did she leave? If she left the trail, why? She had her phone on her. She had her colleague just 30 feet ahead of her, who she could have called down to and said, look, we need help up here. There's someone trapped. Yeah? She had her phone on her. She could have made a phone call. Up there, you're going to get good reception, you think, up on that ridge. But that's why, you know, you was on about the red line? That's why it's a dangerous hike. It's very dangerous, that one. You know what I mean? But I bet you she's done it. I bet you she's done that hike. So if she's done all these other hikes around those mountains, where is she? And just my opinion only, speculating, where is her body hidden? As that guy said in that video, so many boulders. 25 minutes looking for her? Is that how long it took him to hide her body? And that's why, perhaps, allegedly, he didn't want him searching a certain area and know she'd have gone this way. No, he's very sus to me. I'm sorry. Sorry, this is my criminal mind coming into action. If I heard this on the news, if I was on a YouTube channel and I was sitting at home and this come up on my news, I'd be going, what? What? That don't make sense. He was 30 feet ahead of her and he couldn't wait until she caught up with him. He had 25 minutes to do, if allegedly, everyone, allegedly, to do what he did. 25, maybe longer, because don't forget that 25 minutes is from when he said, when he got back up to the top where he last saw her and walked so far one way, so far the other way, and then caught up with the friend. Ella, how do we know she didn't go missing sooner along that trail? They all said too they didn't know she was a scientist. Well, did they know? No, the names have not been released, and I wish they would, because I'd be looking into him. You know what I mean? I would seriously be looking into him. Last person to see her, 25 minutes before he went back down the hill and caught up with his friend, with the other woman. Yeah, I will. I'll play that now. I've got it up on my. I'm just going to take this. Wait, God, did I close it? Fuck's sake, why did I close that down? Alright. I'll play now. Oh, come on, me, man. This was 2 weeks ago, this update. Right, hold on. I've just got to... I've seen... Media... Let's just see. Oh, hold on. I'm just waiting for it to... Lost. Get the fat of here. Okay, I'm going to have to close some windows down on my... Because... Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Right, hopefully it'll let me open that because... Come on. Right, here it is. Let's listen to what they're saying.
Date on the Reza case. Monica Reza missing on a hike in Angeles National Forest in California in June of 2025. Realized something recently watching a show called Untamed. Untamed is about a murder in Yosemite National Park, and an investigator for the Park Service starts looking into the mystery. And that kind of blew my mind because I had no idea that the Park Service themselves have their own investigators. So All Things Unexplained, we submitted 4 records that the National Park Service might have on the Monica Reza disappearance. And we have gotten a response, though it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. So from the USDA, that's the United States Department of Agriculture, the Forest Service, and the Pacific Southwest Region Law Enforcement and Investigations, this is what they sent me. This letter is in response to your Freedom of Information Act request dated March 18th, 2026, and received by the USDA Forest Service Pacific Southwest Region FOIA Service Center on March 19th, 2026. You specifically requested records related to the disappearance of Monica Reza, a 60-year-old hiker reported missing on or about June 22nd, 2025, in the Mount Waterman area of Angeles National Forest, California. Ms. Reza was last seen near Double Delight on the Upper West Ridge Trail after becoming separated from a companion, and was last seen wearing a red long-sleeve shirt. A personal item believed to belong to Ms. Reza was reportedly located in a steep ravine in Devil's Canyon on or about June 23rd, 2025. Now, based on some other cases that All Things Unexplained is looking into, I feel like it's a given that the national parks did have an investigator also looking into this case. But according to their response, Forest Service staff on the Angeles National Forest conducted a search for responsive electronic and hard copy records. No responsive records were identified from that search. The request was in Pacific Southwest Region Law Enforcement Investigations, LEI, also conducted a search for responsive electronic and hard copy records. No responsive records were identified from that search. Okay, so that is a little puzzling when you first see it, but there are a few reasons why this might have happened, and I have filed a modified appeal for records regarding the case. One of the simplest explanations for why there are no records returned on my Monica Reza request is to also remember went by another name. Her professional name was Monica Jacinto. So part of my modified appeal is to search for records on Monica Jacinto. Another explanation, the records may actually be stored with the authority that was in charge of the investigation, and it is my belief, based on publicly available data, that the Crescenta Valley Sheriff Station was in charge of the investigation. So I have also submitted a request to the Crescenta Valley for their records on the Monica Reza Jacinto disappearance. And of course, I'll keep you informed on how that progresses.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. So, I'm going to keep an eye on that guy, because he's going to get the information, if anything. And if he don't, then we want to know why. Is there a cover-up? What aren't they telling us? Because they've never released any information about the beanie and the DNA of that. They've never released anything about the data from her phone. Right? That's what I said. She went on a hike, so she'd have her phone on her. Because even a watch, a Fitbit watch, right, tells you how many steps you've done, what your heart rate was at a certain time, and things like that. And your oxygen levels and everything. So I'd like to know the results of that, but I don't think we're ever going to find why. I don't know. The only reason I can find for them not giving us this info is she's in witness protection. Or, but then again, if that guy had anything to do with it, are they building a case up based around him? And that's why they're not putting any information out? Are they building a case? Because it's only 8 months, and we know what it's like to build a case. 2 years later, or 2.5 years later, you could say. Still no result on that case we're following. So, when they want to hide stuff, they can hide it. So, it just, because I just don't understand how he could leave her. Why didn't he just wait for her? And if that was the case, he carried on, and she's seen someone in distress, why didn't she call down for help to a friend or a phone? Has a phone ever been found? Has anything like that ever been found? A phone, a watch, a water beakers, a rucksack? Any of that been found? I don't think so. So where is he? Where's all her gear? Where's a rucksack? Where's a water beakers? Where's a watch, a phone? Nah. There's something fishy about this. It doesn't smell. It doesn't pass the smell test. And that guy, I'd love to know his name, because I'll get as much information as I could off that guy, from that guy. I'll go on to Truth Finder. Truth Finder tells you everything about everyone. Shocking. So, it still hasn't cleared anything up for me. It's just, again, the more we look into this case, the more questions I have. Right? It's the same with any case. The more I look into anything, the more questions I find. So, I don't know what to say. I can't get past that man. I just can't get past him. Just write it down now. Man with her, question mark, question mark. Because you go on a hike together, but then you leave her, you go ahead 30 feet. Or was it 30 yards? Because 30 yards is further than 30 feet. Or did something happen before that corner? Right, before then. Did something happen up on the ridge? Like where you're taking your photos and things like that. If she has come to her untimely end up on there, she will be found. Could be years away, but she will be found. In 20 years' time, we might hear them say, skeletal bones found, Monica Reza. You know what I mean? Because it's like I say, the sea gives everything back. If you die in the sea, at sea, the sea will give it back. Not in a good way, but it does give it back. Right? What does it say about if you die upon a hike on a mountain, will the wilderness give it back? I don't know. But that is one mountain, one area, and it's a big area where she's gone hiking many, many times before. She's probably even done that hike before, so she knows the dangers. She's 60 years old. I wish I was as fit as that to go hiking. I really do. I have trouble just walking up the road. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, everyone. Has it answered any of your questions? Or have you got more questions like me? This is weird. Has it got anything to do with her job? Right? What her work she's doing? Because next one we're going to do is, I have covered Michael McCaslin before, but I didn't really do it. Right? But I will just dig a bit deeper tomorrow morning and find out the information I need. Because I'm hearing conflicting stories about him now. And some of it is from that phone call. I heard it again today. And I thought, something's not right about this phone call to the police from his wife. Something not right. She wasn't panicked. She wasn't upset. So, something's not right there with her. Like she knows what happened. And where he is. Oh, he took his wallet with him. That was it. That was something else he took with him. Changed his clothes, put some shoes on, took his wallet, his gun. I think that was it. He left his glasses at home. Yeah, I'm sure he needed glasses to fire a feckin' pew-pew. Because he wouldn't be able to see what he's aiming at. But he didn't take any bicycles or a car, meaning he walked away. Yeah. So we'll look into that one tomorrow night. Okay? So until then, thank you for being here and listening to me drone on. And I will see you all on the next one. Till then, stay safe.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last.